In this modern world, we have many distractions, and sometimes nature seems less important than our fast-paced lives. In Turkey, one innovative organization long ago realized that soil erosion, deforestation, and desertification represented a major threat to the future of the country. The Turkish Foundation for Combating Soil Erosion, Reforestation, and the Protection of Natural Habitats, TEMA, has been working for 20 years to address these fundamental issues.
TEMA is, I think, doing an holistic approach from child to elderly people, from government to research institutions. So TEMA is not just introducing a method against desertification, also the social structuring or creating awareness via education, trainings, information.
Turkey is a very interesting part of the world to consider historical impacts on nature. From eastern Turkey flow the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. It is between these two great rivers that the first human agriculture is thought to have begun, approximately 10,000 years ago. Throughout all of human history, these lands have been continuously used for agriculture and animal husbandry. When human beings began to cultivate the earth, it allowed us to gather surplus foods. Suddenly, not everyone was needed in food production. This allowed many to follow other pursuits, leading to specialization and the rise of cities. While agriculture brought with it a new era in human civilization, it also began to change long-term evolutionary trends that had led to total colonization of the earth by biological life, the differentiation and speciation leading to infinite potential variety in genetics, and the constant accumulation of organic matter as each generation of life died and laid down its body to nurture the next.
Wind erosion is very dangerous here, so if you remove the vegetation cover with domestic animals and monoculture, all of a sudden you will lose all your values here. I mean your traditions, your lifestyle, you'll lose everything.
It is possible to still see a traditional way of life in Turkey, but the times are changing.
In 50s, people started to use tractors and other machineries, fertilizers. I don't mean that they are bad, but without control. All of a sudden they attack to their lands and they start cultivating cash crops, which needs high input of water, which needs high fertilizer. For a couple of years they got good yield. In early 60s, there's no vegetation left, no yield left, no sheep left, and then starts that huge sand dune movement in this area.
Industrial agriculture is still dominant, reflecting the commonly held belief that productivity is of higher value than ecological function. TEMA has recognized that this is not sustainable and is working to understand what this means for natural earth systems and on educating the public on how to better conserve and protect Turkey's natural resources.
Yağmurda eskiki gibi kar yağmıyor, kısa düşüyor yani. Özellikle de karlar kısa düşüyor yani. İklim değişikliği var bayağı.
We have some equipments, data loggers. We are measuring every 2 minutes. From April to September, the water level is fluctuating 2 meters even. So every year there is a decrease. When we started the project here, the average water level around here was about 60 to 70 meters. Today, more than 100 meters.
This drop in the water table has led to serious physical changes in the landscape. The most visible of these is where the ground gives way with the emergence of huge sinkholes.
We had satellite images since 1995 where the irrigation started, and we mapped the sinkhole formations. So it goes parallel with it. With the increase of irrigated area, the number of sinkholes and the location of sinkholes are parallel with this.
TEMA's scientific and restoration work shows that it is not necessary to accept degraded landscapes. But it also shows that it is necessary to value the ecological function of the earth and not simply the productivity from agriculture.
TEMA is emphasizing the importance and value of integrated approach to combat land degradation. For example, on this field we are at right now in Karapınar, we have been conducting projects for the last 6 years, not only on scientific studies, but also with elements of rural development, like creating alternative incomes, providing training opportunities on latest agricultural and grazing technologies.
While robust science and a deep respect for natural ecosystems is at the core of TEMA's mission, led by the vision of its co-founders, who are almost universally beloved in Turkey, over the past 20 years, TEMA has been building an inclusive and participatory organization.
We try to teach people that instead of complaining, you ask yourself what I can do, what we can do. That was our one of the main issues that helped to discover new ideas and projects.
Over the years, this has grown into a very effective organization, stimulating mass action through education campaigns, tree planting campaigns, and policy advocacy.
TEMA is a kind of unique organization for Turkey. Almost in every town we have our representatives, we have our volunteers, and this is very important. That's why we need to listen to them, we need to act together, we need to work together.
Now we have over 400,000 followers, which is very important for trying to realize such missions.
Local representatives of TEMA's membership from all over Turkey met together to celebrate the 20th anniversary in Istanbul. While there was serious work to be done, the people also had a great time.
We believe in our volunteers. They are the real people. They are the people who are working for this objective.
We need participation in developing land use plans, because at the end of the day, who will implement the plan is the people, local people.
There is urgent work to be done, and thanks to the far-sighted dedication of the founders and the hundreds of thousands of Turkish members of TEMA, the means to understand what needs to be done and to promote these efforts through the country exists.
Now we are working on water. For example, by now Turkey doesn't have any law for water, and is such a big country, we need a law, and we are working with scientists, we are working with academic people, with universities, with NGOs, with all stakeholders in order to have a law. We give a lot of importance for kids, because the new generation is very important. They can save this world.
The UNCCD has recognized TEMA's extraordinary contribution to conservation by awarding TEMA with a 2012 Land for Life Award.